Let's welcome Mark Schmitz. His son, U.S. Marine Lance Corporal Jared Schmitz, just 20 years old when he was murdered in the Kabul airport attack. Mark, what do you make of Aisha's reporting there? No apology from the White House. What do you think?
Doesn't surprise me in the least bit. I mean, Congressman Aisha did such a wonderful thing setting this committee hearing up yesterday. I'm sorry I had to miss it due to work, but the families that spoke out did such an excellent job on portraying my thoughts, at least. But the fact that the government, Biden's office in particular, is still sticking by their decision doesn't surprise me in the least bit. I expect nothing less out of this administration.
You know, Mark, we're so sorry for what happened. It's a disgrace what happened to your son. There's been lots of criticism from Gold Star parents. Biden using a family tragedy as political capital again. Biden again repeatedly falsely claiming to Afghanistan Gold Star parents that his son Beau died in Iraq. He did not. Beau died at Walter Reed Hospital from brain cancer in 2015. Biden's got at least a 4-decade history of plagiarizing and misleading America.
Cancer took his son. Biden took mine. Plain and simple. And he'll never admit that. The man just lies for a living. It's obvious. We as family members at Dover, when we were there to receive our children's bodies, that was the worst day of all of our lives. And to sit there and have him talk to us about Beau was the biggest insult.
Mark, yeah, finish your thought. Go ahead.
I don't know any other way to put it. I mean, how do you? I think Cheryl put it best. It was completely heartless. You know, it was like getting a knife in the heart, as Ms. Shamlin said yesterday as well. It's just being thrust into that situation and having a commander in chief that you're supposed to look up to. There's nothing to look up to with this man. I mean, he has stripped my beautiful son away from me. We'll never see him get married or have kids. And my son would have been one hell of a father. Certainly better than Joe Biden is a father.
You know, it's just horrendous what you and your family have been dealing with, Mark. It's just heartbreaking. Let's listen to Cheryl Rex. You mentioned Cheryl Rex. She was with us last night. Let's also listen to Sergeant Tyler Vargas Andrews. He is a Marine who survived the bombing in Kabul that killed 13 American soldiers. Watch what they say happened with President Biden. Watch this.
When Joe Biden entered the room, his words to me were, my wife Jill and I know how you feel. We lost our son as well and brought him home in a flag-draped coffin. My heart started beating faster, and I started shaking, knowing that their son died from cancer and they were able to be by his side. Also wondering how someone could honestly be so heartless to say he knew how I felt a little over 24 hours and learning of my son's death. After this encounter, I have never had any personal correspondence, nor has my son been honored or his name spoken by this commander-in-chief.
My arm's gone. I'm like, I don't have an arm. And he says, oh. I was like, okay, that's weird. And, you know, almost immediately starts talking, like, about how their son served in the military. Doesn't say anything about what happened. Starts talking about how their son served in the military. And my mom is just like, she's furious at this point. And he leans over me, and he's like this close to my face, and he's like, what do you want? And I'm just like confused. I just got blown up. I just saw my friends die next to me. I'm like, I just want to be myself.
I just want to be myself. Mark, what are you hearing from other military families about all this?
Well, many of the Gold Star family out of our 13 feel, I think, the same way as what most of the sentiments were yesterday. I can't speak for everyone, but I've had a lot of Gold Star families have reached out from before, and it's different for them. I mean, their son or daughter is killed in action, gunshot in a gunfight. You know, there's no explanation to it really, other than to explain how it went down. Ours was completely preventable. It never should have happened. Had Biden listened to his advisors, this would have gone a completely different direction. You know, and at this point, I know that our families are, we've been preaching from the hilltops that this president has never even once in 2 years mentioned the names of our children out loud in public, ever. And at this point, he doesn't deserve the right to do so. I don't want to hear him ever say my son's name.
Mark Schmitz, again, thanks for joining us tonight. Thanks for sharing your story. We're going to stay on it, okay, Mark? Thank you again. We appreciate it.